Hello and welcome to TVB News. A male tuberculosis patient is in critical condition at Kwang Wah Hospital after he suffered from a cardiac arrest when the respiratory tube of his respirator was dislodged. Preliminary investigations by the hospital found the device issued a signal during the incident, but medical staff were unable to hear it owing to the distance of the patient's room. They added that the respirator lost connection to the hospital's central monitoring device. Timothy Lee has our top story.
The 51-year-old male patient was admitted to Kwang Wah Hospital's intensive care unit last December after he suffered from lung failure and required the assistance of a respirator to breathe. He was transferred to the negative pressure ward after his condition improved at 2:30 p.m. on Monday. He was conscious and was reattached to another respirator. The device and the condition of the patient were both normal at the time. Nurses who checked on the situation half an hour later found no issue. But after an hour, the medical staff found that the patient's respiratory tube was dislodged and the man's heart was not beating and he was unconscious. CCTV footage did not show any suspicious individuals entering the room. Preliminary investigations suspect the incident was caused by the movement of the patient. The chief executive of Kwang Wah Hospital said the hospital is contacting the vendor of the respirator device.
I must say that at this moment, we have the information is that the central monitoring doesn't have the signal coming from that particular monitoring device during those periods. And why is that the case? We are still under close investigation why that information was not found in the central nursing monitoring station. And that's we have been working closely with the vendors. They have get the data and would be looking deep into the data to see what's wrong.
Dr. Tang said the hospital authority has already been alerted. An investigation committee has been set up and a report will be made within 8 weeks. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
Tokyo Electric Power Company reported today that highly radioactive water had leaked from equipment at the tsunami-hit Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. The water appears to have seeped into the soil. TEPCO, which operates the facility, said plant workers found the leak Wednesday morning. The workers were conducting valve checks at a treatment machine designed to remove cesium from the contaminated water. The machine has been idled for maintenance work. TEPCO said an estimated 5.5 metric tons of radioactive water, enough to fill 2 ordinary backyard swimming pools, leaked out through an air vent. It left a pool of water on an iron plate outside and seeped into the soil around it, but no radioactive water escaped the compound. The company stated radiation levels around the plant have since shown no increase. TEPCO said the leak may have been caused by valves accidentally left open while workers flushed the machine with filtered water. A U.S. drone strike blew up a car in the Iraqi capital Wednesday night, killing a high-ranking commander of the powerful Kataib Hezbollah militia. This, as the U.S. military said, the Iran-backed militia is responsible for directly planning and participating in attacks on American troops in the region. The precision blast hit a main thoroughfare in eastern Baghdad, attracting a crowd as emergency teams picked through the wreckage. More from NBC News.
Tonight, a vehicle in flames in the Iraqi capital. A U.S. strike so targeted, cars close by appear undamaged, others driving past. But in the aftermath, fury erupting. A crowd chanting no to America, no to Israel. Among those killed, Abu Bakr al-Saadi, a commander in Kataib Hezbollah, the group says, the Iranian-backed militia accused of the killing of 3 American service members in a drone attack on Tower 22, a remote desert base in Jordan, 10 days ago. CENTCOM saying in a statement tonight, U.S. forces conducted a unilateral strike in Iraq in response to the attacks on U.S. service members, killing a Kataib Hezbollah commander responsible for directly planning and participating in attacks on U.S. forces in the region. In addition to the deadly drone strike, Iranian-backed militias have launched over 160 attacks on American targets since October and have kept on attacking American bases in Syria, even after Friday's wave of American retaliatory strikes. President Biden, who's been under pressure to launch a more forceful response, was pressed about it earlier this week.
Are the airstrikes working? Yes.
Tonight, Iraq's military immediately branding the strike a violation of Iraqi sovereignty, with tensions between Iran and the US escalating.
Welcome back. The Kremlin has confirmed that Russian President Vladimir Putin has been interviewed by former Fox News host Tucker Carlson. It is Putin's first interview with a Western media figure since his full-scale invasion of Ukraine 2 years ago. Daniel Rao reports.
Tucker Carlson had released a video from Moscow on Tuesday in which he said he would be interviewing Russian President Vladimir Putin. Carlson claimed Western journalists had interviewed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky multiple times, but could not be bothered to interview the Russian president. The interview will be posted on Thursday, according to the head of programming at Carlson's streaming network. It's not known what was said in the interview. Putin has heavily limited his contact with international media since he launched the war in Ukraine in February 2022. Western journalists were invited to Putin's annual press conference in December, the first since the war began, but only 2 were given the chance to ask a question. Putin's spokesperson Dmitry Peskov told reporters Carlson was chosen for the interview because he has a position which differs from other media outlets in the English-speaking world. However, Peskov rejected Carlson's suggestion that no Western journalists had submitted requests to interview Putin. He said the Kremlin has received many requests from large Western television channels and newspapers which he asserted take a one-sided position. Carlson's position, Peskov said, is in no way pro-Russian nor pro-Ukrainian, but rather pro-American. Before his exit from Fox, Carlson repeatedly questioned the validity of US support for Ukraine following the Russian invasion, and he's wondered why Americans are told to hate Putin so much. His commentaries were frequently circulated on Russian state-run media. In his video this week, Carlson denounced corrupt American media outlets for fawning pep sessions with Zelensky that he said were designed to get the US into a war with Eastern Europe and pay for it. Carlson's trip comes as he has planted himself on former US President Donald Trump's side in a growing split in the Republican Party over Putin and the Ukraine war. Trump has pushed cut-off aid to Ukraine. Dan Rowell, TV News.
Back locally, police found some illegal immigrants have been taking advantage of regulatory loopholes in food delivery platforms to purchase or borrow accounts of local delivery men to make deliveries themselves. 69 people have been arrested on suspicion of conspiracy to defraud as well as employment of illegal workers. Timothy Lee tells us more.
The force seized a number of thermal bags from delivery platforms, bicycles, as well as mobile phones during their operation. The force stressed only Hong Kong residents are permitted to apply as delivery men on the platforms, and they are required to upload information about their Hong Kong identity cards. Some individuals are suspected to have made forgeries. The police noted these individuals engaged in the illegal activity also employed individuals of non-Chinese descent as illegal workers, tasking them to make deliveries after providing them with the purchased or borrowed accounts. The real account holders would then receive the delivery fee and rewards from the delivery platform before giving a cut to the illegal workers. These illegal workers would earn as much as $20,000 per month. The police emphasized there are insufficient security mechanisms in the city's delivery platforms, such as the lack of multi-factor authentication and allowing deliverymen accounts to switch registered phone numbers. The police began their investigation at the beginning of this month and have arrested 69 people on suspicion of conspiracy to defraud, forgery, and employment of legal workers. Several of the suspects have already been charged. Authorities did not rule out that more arrests will be made. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
The cold weather warning is now in force. The observatory said it will still be chilly on Lunar New Year's Day this Saturday. It was damp and cold this morning. People put on thick layers of clothing and winter accessories, including gloves and scarves. The observatory says the cold weather is due to the northeast monsoon and a broad band of rain and clouds. Residents are advised to avoid prolonged exposure to cold winds. It will become warmer next week with large temperature differences between day and night. Former associate publisher of Apple Daily, Chan Poi-man, today said the newspaper had donated money to the now defunct 612 Humanitarian Relief Fund during the 2019 anti-extradition movement. Today is the 26th day of media tycoon Jimmy Lai's national security trial. Police security was tight outside the West Kowloon Law Courts as Lai was taken there by prison van. Chan Poi-man continued her testimony as an accomplice witness. She said Apple Daily published several editions of a special publication, Freedom Summer 2019, between September and October 2019. Chan confirmed that each copy cost $10, with one of the September editions stating that net proceeds will be donated to the 6112 Humanitarian Relief Fund. Chan said there were requests from the public for more copies after the first print run was sold out. One of the pages was the phrase, "Punish killers with voters." Chan said it referred to the district council election in 2019. The High Court has overturned the conviction of Lamb Chi Ting in relation to an ICAC case. The former pro-democracy lawmaker was charged with disclosing the identity of a person under investigation by the anti-graft body. Lamb was sentenced to 4 months in jail after being found guilty of 3 counts of disclosing the identity of Superintendent Yao Nai-kung, who was under investigation in relation to the 2019 Yuen Long mob attacks. Lamb later appealed against his conviction, saying the public had the right to know that a police officer was under investigation. A High Court judge overturned Lamb's conviction as Lamb had not violated the Prevention of Bribery Ordinance. That is the news. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.